The Toronto Raptors got a harsh dose of reality in Game 1 of the NBA playoffs, losing 126 to 113 to Cleveland. And it was a tight first quarter, and going into half, I thought it could be a match. But the Raptors didn't come out to play at all in the third, and Cleveland exposed them. Today, we're going to break down Game 1. We're going to cover the keys that impacted Game 1, including IQ missing, BI not shooting, and some loose defense. Then we're going to talk about the Raptor player ratings. I'm going to score each player who played at least 10 minutes out of 10. We're going to do this for every game this playoffs. And then last, we're going to talk about the keys to Game 2. This is The Morning Whistle. My name is Aaron Naron. So, some key things to this game. Brandon Ingram took 9 shots the whole game. Emmanuel quickly couldn't play, and Jakub Poeltl looked like he didn't want to play. Here's what killed the Raps in Game 1. First, it was missed free throws. As I mentioned earlier, the Raptors started quite well, and the game was tight for most of the first half. Where they had their missed opportunity, though, was on free throws, missing 5 of their first 8. That would have given the Raptors an opportunity to potentially head into the half with a lead or keep it really close. Secondly, loose defense at the end of the first and second quarters. These were the moments where Harden and Donovan Mitchell killed us. With Scotty Barnes on the bench, this was their time to hit threes, and we didn't respond. Third, we were not ready to play the third quarter. And I found that we just fell into our old habits. One, errors compounding. We would miss a 3, they would hit a 3, and then we would turn over the ball. And we also just kept going back to the same shots. And this is where, for me, it was really confusing to see Brandon Ingram get taken out of the game. And when I say taken out of the game, I don't mean him not playing. I literally mean him just standing there. He took 9 shots all game and only 1 in the second half. In our preview, we talked about Ingram having to elevate from an average of 17 shots a game to like 22 or 23. That was unacceptable, and I don't know why the team wasn't looking to get him involved. Meanwhile, for the Cavs, they played decent, but they made shots when it counted. And they got enough from their guards off the bench, specifically Max Strus. So with that, let's go through the Raptor player ratings from this game. As I mentioned, we're going to rate each Raptor out of 10, with 10 being an absolute world beater of a game, 6 being an average game. So we're going to start off with the starting lineup. Jamal Shead, recalled in place of the injured Emmanuel quickly. He was an 8 out of 10. And Darko was vindicated in his decision to bring Jamal into the starting lineup. I loved his decisiveness. He made a 3 early, he was driving to the basket early, and while he had some turnovers in the first quarter, he was very clear on what he wanted to do. Push, push, push. And he had 17 points and was 5 of 6 from 3 and really defended hard. Good game by Jamal. RJ Barrett was a 6 out of 10. Now, yes, he ended the team with a lead in 24 points, but he was really quiet in critical moments of this game. He was quiet in the first, he was loose with the ball early in the second, and then in the third quarter, he basically did nothing. A lot of his points came in the fourth when the game was already over. He needs to elevate and provide support to Scotty and Brandon in the key moments in the game. I need to see more urgency from him. Scotty was also a 6 out of 10. He did start the game strong with a couple of early threes, solid defense despite being on a couple of fouls, but he was woefully ineffective in the third. Woefully ineffective, and missed free throws began to creep in again. And these stats should give you an idea of where he's falling short. He was 3 of 4 from three-point range, but 3 of 10 inside the arc. And he didn't involve Ingram enough. He needs to improve significantly. On that note about Ingram, I gave him a 6.5 out of 10. Could have been a 7, but he just didn't really do enough late in the game. But I really liked his game in the first half. He was trying to get to the basket. He was getting free throws. He was making some buckets. He was involving his peers. He took 8 shots in the first half, but only 1 in the second. And that isn't acceptable. Part of that I put on his teammates to get him involved. And of course, part of it I put on the coach. But I also think on him, like, you got to step up here. And he has to do that. The scores get a little ugly from here. Jakub Poeltl is a 4 out of 10. He was slow to adjust to the pace of this game. Like, he was way too close to Jarrett Allen on the 3-point line early in this game. I don't know what he was thinking Jarrett Allen was going to do. And then offensively, he was horrific. He was dropping the ball left, right, and center. I know he's not 100%, but he looked like a passenger. If he's not going to play well, he's going to have to not play at all. Jakub Poeltl was a 5 out of 10. He was active on defense, but unlike Jamal Shead, he did not show aggression when he came into the game. He only scored 2 points through the first 3 quarters on a cut to the basket, didn't get a lot of threes, wasn't moving around, was largely just glued to the sideline. Collin Murray-Boyles, I will give a 7 out of 10. I thought he was solid coming off the bench. He had great energy, driving to the basket multiple times. I thought he was pretty strong at the points that he was guarding Donovan Mitchell, and I loved his energy. He needs to play more. And yes, it probably needs to come at expense of Jakub Poeltl. Sandro Mamukelashvili also did not have a strong game. He's a 5 out of 10. He was quiet in the first, didn't take a shot. He was quiet in the second, quiet in the third. Not a good game at all. Not a lot of energy with only a couple of points for him too. For a guy who in the regular season would just come into games and immediately demand the ball and start shooting, he just didn't do it. And maybe he was tentative. I don't know what it was. This was his first playoff game as well, but he looked overwhelmed. Last, AJ Lawson was the 9th man, effectively taking the place of IQ. Didn't get a ton of minutes, hustled pretty well. I give him an average 6 out of 10. All in all, from this game, you can see there were certain role players who didn't play well, and the stars didn't play well. Really, other than Jamal Shead, everyone else needs to step up significantly. Okay, so heading into game 2, we see that the Raptors are outgunned offensively. If they want to get back into this series, what do they have to do? 3 things for me. Number 1, Jakub Poeltl needs to show up with urgency, or he needs to be benched for Collin Murray-Boyles. When Murray-Boyles was on the floor, he was cutting to the basket. He was trying to make himself available for pick and roll plays and make himself available for passes. Jakub was doing none of it. At the end of the day, Scotty Barnes is not an isolation player. If he doesn't have a passing outlet, he's going to make turnovers. If Poeltl isn't going to make those runs, it has to be CMB. There needs to be a change in the 5 position. 2, there needs to be a defined plan on how to open up 3-point shots for Mamu and Walter. Here's the thing. They were really good shooting for us at the end of the season, and they had no looks in this game. Part of it was because we weren't getting enough half-court rotation because the center position was so fixed, not moving. But these guys were also just standing around. We need to circulate the ball a little bit more so that they can come out of rotations and get more easy looks. They both can shoot contested, but we need to give them more opportunities. Last, we talked about this earlier, Brandon Ingram has to get more involved. He took 9 shots compared to 17 for Mitchell and over 20 for Harden. Like, it has to happen. He can make the shots, but he needs to take them. Am I confident about this heading into game 2? Not really, but let's see what happens.